Well, excuse me, can you spare 10 pence? Maybe you can spare 20 more. Well, excuse, can you spare 10 pence? Can you?
Hello,
20 more.
welcome to another wee episode of Dimming
I'm
the
sitting
Light,
here twiddling
where
my
we
thumbs, yeah.
kind of talk about
I need
kind of just feeling down, a wee bit about depression, but not in a way that's going to make us depressed. Irony! And I like doing these wee things. I've been getting good feedback from them so far. It's essentially just me talking a wee bit about mental health in general. I get to look out my window and watch the sun go down, hence the name Dim in the Light. And that's what's being recorded as well. Some people don't know that the thumbnail is actually not just a still image, it's literally the light changing as we speak for half an hour. About, about health, the health and the care of ourselves. And also, I usually go on some rants to kind of just test out a wee bit of comedy on you guys. So thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. A couple of shout outs, actually, for now. These are the people that, once I do one of these, they get in contact with me personally and they go, man, this is good, keep it going. So, Gareth Morgan, Robert Dawson, Amy Anderson, John O'Reilly, and Just Gemma. Like, I'm sure there are definitely others out there. I am not ignoring you by any means, but those are the people that kind of leave a little comment or kind of say something that it kind of actually touches them a wee bit, and they actually make a point that when they see a post that another episode is up, they're kind of like, I can't wait to listen to this, and I usually get some sort of feedback off them. So thank you for that, and yeah, leave some comments wherever it's posted, and then you get a wee shout out as well. So it's been up and down. I won't lie. I mean, I guess every week is like that, isn't it? Regardless if you're in a pandemic or not. Everyone is always up and down. And I always kind of say that like life is like a pendulum due, like a grandfather clock, and it's kind of usually it swings from side to side, nice and calmly, nice and slowly. So sometimes it goes into the negative side of life, sometimes it goes into the positive side of life, but either way, it's just really slowly swinging from side to side. And then other times, it's like some wee asshole has just opened up the wee glass case that the pendulum Jew is nested in, and then it's someone just kind of fucking puts it into hyperspeed, and it's banging off the sides of the clock, and the cuckoo clock is coming out at the top at 12 o'clock or God knows what time, hungover, not knowing what day it is. Cuckoo! Like vomit, hungover. And that's kind of a little bit kind of indicative as to how we feel sometimes. It can just be a bit extreme. Sometimes it doesn't go the way so kind of smoothly as it normally does. And I definitely think the isolation thing has got something a wee bit to do with that, where you can kind of get caught up in your own thoughts a wee bit too much. And listen, the key is to keep busy, right? That is one of the most, it's what a lot of people will tell you. Keep busy. And I'm not saying just work, but that does help. If you're going to work every day, if you've got kids, that helps. But if you've got your things, man. If you've got your family, that helps, But when everyone's kind of locked in, man, you're kind of caught up in your own thoughts a little bit. And I think for me, I'm very used to being quite productive during the day and making content and writing. That's my thing, man. That's what I've been doing for over a year now. That's my general thing that I do, man. But I reward myself, and that comes in the form of going out and meeting pals. Now, I think a lot of us could probably relate to this. There's a good circle of pals that you have, right? A closer circle of friends. Those are the people that you text on the regular, you send the odd message, you meet up for a pint every now and then. You can actually maybe call them up and say, "Hey, do you fancy going for a walk?" Um, which is totally, those are really the people that are important and kind of keep you sane. But there's also a kind of outer circle of friends, right? Kind of even like a wee bit more than acquaintances, where like you meet them on the regular. It could be the wee woman that you always say hi to on the way to bus and the work because you're on the kind of same schedule. It could be your bus driver. It could be the wee woman at Greg's when you get your sausage rolls. Um, could be generally the people in your workplace. It's that familiarity that you have with others, that kind of routine that you're used to. For me, that's what I would reward myself with, man. I'd go, I'd work in the afternoon. I'd usually be finished about 6 or 7. That's usually when my brain is done. After, if I can squeeze in 3 or 4 hours of writing, and then I go down to my local bar, the mini bar where I work, and I go and meet a bunch of pals there who just happen to be there. There's a bunch of acquaintances there that I can get to talk to and have a laugh with, and then I take myself off to another bar, and then I take myself off to another bar, and each bar where I usually go and see people that I know that work behind the bar and have chats, and there's just a bunch of people, and you talk and you share ideas and you get things off your chest, and that world has become smaller, and I think that's that can be quite tiresome, man. That can be a wee bit, when is it all going to end type thing. I think as well you know, what I'll begrudgingly admit is that a couple of days ago I fell into this kind of low self-esteem thing where I just felt that everyone was getting it easier than me. Oh, how horrible. How horrible thinking that you're the only one that's got it rough. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you something, man, it was directly related to too much time on social media. Even actively trying not to be on social media as often as I was, it's got to the stage that, not if I stay on social media for too long, usually you get into that kind of like that world that there's a whole world out there on social media that is way better than yours. Super dangerous, by the way. I'm sure the people I'm talking to know exactly how that works, right? But it got to the stage that even spending 5 minutes on social media was just getting me like, fuck, why is everyone being so successful? And that's not the case. It's such an illusion. But I was just in this huge dichotomy. I was trying to tell myself the whole time, look, man, you're not in a bad situation. The fact of the matter is, and by the way, this feeling of self-pity, of self-doubt, I've ran away from for a lot of my life, and I kind of figured out not to have it, how not to have it in my life a long time ago, because it stems from being surrounded by that from like a very young age in the kind of family sphere. And I said to myself, kind of like coming of age, I was like that. See that? Fuck that. Like, no way am I going to be that self-doubtful, self-pitiful person. But I think every now and then you can kind of get lost in that. And I think I kind of figured that out, man. I was like that. I'm not. The thing is, I kind of figured it out like this. There's the fact of the matter is that I'm in a pretty good position, right? There's food in the fridge. I'm still paying my rent because I'm on the dole. The only thing I'm not really happy about is that I can't get out there and do stuff. I'm stuck. So the only thing I can do is this like online content shit, which I'll get to. So the reality is, the fact of the matter is that everything for me could be so much worse. It could really be so much worse. But the way I was feeling was not that. I couldn't see the fact. I couldn't see through the disillusionment. I was feeling self-pity. I was feeling that I was in this state of, I'm not, why am I not doing it? I'm stuck. I'm not doing anything. I'm wasting my time. I'm not out there doing what I want to do. And it was very difficult for me to bridge that gap between how I feel and what fact was. And I can't be alone in that. I can't be alone in that. So it comes down to that age-old thumb of rule perspective. Get perspective. If anyone tuned into the last episode, it's the equivalent of walking out that shop with your brand new Nike shoes and cussing at your Nike shoes and cussing at the world. So I kind of overcame that, but I won't lie, man, it was a rough weekend. Felt very bad on Friday night. Spent all day and Saturday in bed basically, and just, oh, what a horrible. Did you keep feeling sorry for yourself? I mean, it's the worst thing, isn't it? It's the worst thing. And I think, you know, this kind of hindsight, this kind of retrospect is so nice to be here now. But when you're on that journey, when you're in that limbo, and you've not reached that point of results, and you've not reached that goal of perspective, it's a rough ride, man. It's a rough ride. So I get it if you're in that. And then I've been reading a lot. That's one of the things that gets me out of this funk is reading. Oh my God, if you don't read, please read. There's two things that keep me sane: reading and eating soup. Making soup and eating soup. Making soup, man, what a meditative task. But I was reading this book, right? And this is why everything is so kind of flip-flopping right now. I was like, you know, man, the reality of the situation is you've got it fine. Stop feeling so shit about stuff. And then I read this great quote. It said, the worst thing in the world for a dreamer is for reality to intrude on their dream. Oh. And yes, as I've figured out a lot in life, man, but I'll tell you something. I'm a dreamer and I'm a romantic. I will admit, I'm not talking about romantic in the sense that I'll take you out and fucking, you know, buy you presents and hold the door open for you. I mean romantic as in a romanticised version of what the world actually is, which is, you know, admittedly part of my, I guess, kind of charm and naivety. I think some people call me charming, and I think it's because I've got this naivety that the world is more romantic than what it actually is. But then sometimes I get into my funk of how crappy everything is, man. But that put me, you know, I was that dichotomy. I was like, Chris, things aren't bad as what they are. Fucking pick yourself back up, man, and deal with reality. And then I was like, oh, is reality setting in? Am I giving away my dreams because I'm letting reality set in? So I've had this kind of constant up and down feeling lately. One minute, you know, feeling quite sorry for everyone, feeling quite empathetic towards everyone's kind of plight at the moment, everyone's kind of struggle to get through, and I'm like, oh man, check us all out. I walk past some restaurants and bars, and I see them hustling, man. I see them doing a little takeaways. I see people doing mulled wines. I see people doing little like cocktails to go in bottles, you know, because no one's allowed inside the bar, but you can still do takeaway. And I'm like, yes, that's it, man. I feel sorry for y'all, man, you know. But then quickly after that comes this seething frustration and irritation of how we're in this mess in the first place. And how unfair it is. And how we all just try and get along, you know. I was walking along the street. It reminded me of this time when I was in Glasgow Central Station, and I was just visiting, and there was one of these like Mary Carey, the cancer research group, and I've always had, I used to be able to deal with these people quite well, but I think as you get older, there's kind of somewhat of an expectation that you're like, when you're 18 years old walking down the street, you can get away with it. You're like, oh, man, I've not got any money. When you're 35 and they're looking at you with your nice leather jacket and you go, ah, man, sorry, I've no money. And they kind of make you feel dead bad, man. You know, you walk away and you're like that. I feel fucking guilty now. I got off that train, right, from Cumbernauld, Croy Station, right through to Glasgow, got off. I was like, I'm going to meet my pals, I'm going to have a good day and forget about the world and fucking forget about the terrible shit in the world. And then she kind of brought me down. And I felt guilty. And I kind of like, I really detested that. I was like, how dare you change my mood? There's one thing saying, have you got any money? And I say no. And I really want to be like, next time, you always think about stuff afterwards and you go, man, I wish I'd been quicker. Because I said something like, listen, I don't have any money, which was true. And they kind of assume that you do. And you just don't want to give it up. And then she was like, well, come on, it's only this and that. I just need 5 minutes of your time and all that. This day I was like, look, I've no money, man. I think I said something, I've actually only got a German bank account, which is true. And she's like, oh, that's a new one. As if kind of saying, aye, so you do, man. And that's what it was, actually. I was trying to remember it for the podcast, but no, I do. I said, oh man, listen, I'd love to stop. Look, I don't have any change on me. I don't have any money. And she's like, well, can I get your, like, let's stop. We can have assuming you want bank details and that. I was like, look, I've only got a German bank account, so it's not going to happen. And she kind of was like, oh, that's a new one, innit? As if to say that I was kind of bullshitting her. And I kind of just wanted to take her aside and be like, that, look, man, like, two things I wanted to do. I wanted to, one, go, be careful. Because you really don't know how sensitive people are in their mental health, man. It really could just take one little hurdle, one little speed bump in the road for someone to go into this like guilt-ridden, self-doubt, self-pitying, I'm shit, I'm no good for the world because I don't have money on me for this moment, for the greater good of cancer research. Because we want to do that. We want to be a good person. We want to do that. I just kind of wanted just to be careful, man, with that. And then the second thing I wanted to do was kind of be like, right, listen, look, I've no money. I can't help you, man. I've no money. How can I? But I tell you what I do have. I've got time. How can I help you? Give me a wee jar. Give me a wee jar with all your coins in it. Give me a wee clipboard. What do you need? Names, addresses, and that. Oh no, you can't. Well, you can't. Well, you can't be behind here. Well, you need to go. How no? What's up? Well, you need like the authenticity. You need the little badge that says you need to go through. We need to kind of screen you and see if you're eligible for this. Well, therein lies the problem of bureaucracy. I want to help you. I've got time, but all you want is my money. I want to volunteer right now for you, man. I've got half an hour to spare. Let me get some money for you. Let me stand in the corner with you. And I'll ask people for a couple of quid to put in the jar that I can't. I'll give you my time. But it doesn't work like that. Just going through this kind of feeling sorry for people. I was standing in the queue in the Asian supermarket the other day, right? And I had this little flashback to when I was another little moment of kind of feeling sorry for people and how human beings just try and adapt as best they can in this ever like increasingly fast world of technology. And it was like, remember when, if you were lucky enough to have like satellite TV, I don't know, mid-90s, and it would just kind of like cut off, right? And it would just be this blue screen. and you go round the back of the telly, you'd sugar a few cables. Remember cables? Remember going round the back of the telly and seeing that atrocity of nonsense that was behind the telly in the corner? That was a place that never got dusted or hoovered, wasn't it? Old fluffy Watsits, people flicking bogies in the back, bottle caps. You used to sugar a few things, right? And when there was no signal, it was a kind of get the ladders out and adjust the actual physical satellite dish that was screwed onto the side of the house. And it was always funny watching somebody, you know, it was always funny to me. I'd be standing at the bottom of the ladders and I would see somebody up there kind of moving the satellite with millimetre precision, trying to meet, basically using infrared, another satellite that was literally orbiting the Earth at 15,000 miles an hour. There's you in the side of your house shouting in, is that it? Is that it now? Is that it now? And just the rebuke is just fucking, no! It's no fucking, and they're getting angry and you're like, I'm trying to meet another satellite in space. And I was in the middle of this thought process when this guy comes up to me. I'm in the queue and this guy comes up to me and goes like, excuse me, you're actually behind me? You're actually behind me and this other girl. I had maybe skipped the queue, right? Unbeknownst to me. And the first thing that honestly went through my head, although I never said this, was how the fuck can you be ahead of me in the queue when you're standing behind me? It's physics, mate. This is physics right here, pal. And I wasn't really in the mood to argue because I wasn't really in a good place. You know all I wanted? You know why? The queue was massive. And you know what the only thing I wanted from that Asian supermarket was these like hot and spicy dried noodles, right? Like the equivalent of super noodles back home, right? I just wanted that. I wanted to go home, put it in a fucking pot, and put it on some heavily buttered pan bread. That's all I wanted. And it was like this kind of horrible yin-yang, evil circle of miscommunication, misinformation, misunderstanding. And I was like, and he was like, no, I was there. I was like, how can you be there and I'm here? What do you mean you're ahead of me, man? Well, no, but I went back for like some coconut oil. Well, then you fucking went back for some coconut oil, didn't you? Obviously, this is all happening in my head. What I done instead was I done the square go shooters, right? I was wearing my leather jacket, I had my hoodie on, a hat on, I was masked up, I looked like a bit of a badass, right? Obviously I didn't know this at the time, this is all in retrospect, but I kind of just like put my shooters up as if like to square go and kind of fucking eye locked the guy. I just dead eye locked him, man. And I just walked towards him, right? And my intention is and was to just leave the store, right? But oh, he shat his pants, man. I must have just had this kind of inner rage that was just being like concentrated in my retina alone. And he took a wee, you know, he didn't shite himself so much, but he took a wee half a step back, you know what I mean? And I could feel his bother give a wee shudder. And I think clearly everyone's stressed right now. And I think everyone was a bit stressed in the Asian shop and the queue was terribly long, right? But I think I didn't mean to do that, man. I'm not a fighter or anything like that. I don't want to scare him or anything, but it kind of felt a wee bit good. Because I just had this wee pack of noodles and everyone else had like pure baskets of shopping. And I kind of, you know, I was trying to say to the guy in my shitty German on the way out, I was like, I was like, and my shitty German was like, oh, that's for a pack of noodles. Oh God, how did I say it in German? I can't remember what I said in German, but anyway, I kind of just like, in the middle of the queue there was these freezers and I kind of just threw my my noodles on the freezer. I pure dramatic showmanship shit as well. You know what I mean? I kind of just threw my noodles on these freezers and walked right out, like try to pretend I'm a pure hard man. And what I kind of wanted from the situation was just like a bit of empathy, because I think I was in that empathetic like thought process moments before, because I was just thinking of how cute humanity is, and I was like, look at us, man, we're all in this big spinning world, and when the signal goes off the telly or the signal goes out on the internet, we have a minor freak out, and there's no wonder we do, because we're up in a fucking set of ladders in the side of a house trying to, find find with millimeter precision and infrared connection with a satellite that's hurtling through space. And I think the next thing in my ear was just about rules and control, and you shouldn't be there, I should be there, and I've got a right to be there and you haven't. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I was like, as if the world isn't in control enough, man. The government tells you what to do. I can't leave the house. I can't work. I can't do comedy. And now you wee asshole, are telling me I can't buy my noodles. And he wasn't saying that. He wasn't saying I couldn't buy my noodles. He was just saying I should stand 2 people away. But I was like, is there no connection with anyone anymore, man, in these moments? And I kind of just left the shop with my noodles in the middle of the kind of the queue that was kind of formed around these like glass freezers, like chest glass freezers. And I kind of just wanted everyone, in my own romantic vision of the world, I kind of just wanted everyone to be like, to giving that guy the death stare when I left, and just being like, that fuck's sake, mate, the guy was just buying some noodles. Did you have to make such a big deal? Really? And you know what? Something inside me tells me that that's what happened. Something inside my wee soul says, aye man, that's what happened. But we're also in Germany, so people were probably, the first thing people thought were probably, he should have definitely put those noodles back where he got them before leaving the store. No? Oder? Ja, was denkt euch hier, huh? And then there was probably some sort of fucking solidarity, unanimous vote that said I was an asshole and acted thusly. Oh, technology, man. Technology. So I remember I used to work in Dixons. Dixons is like, for the German listeners, it's the equivalent of Media Markt or Conrad. That was like my third job. I count the paper run as a job, guys. Oh Christ! Anyone that doesn't count the paper run as a job, that was hefty, man. That was a hefty run I had. £100 a week, but pulling that in at 14-year-old. Now you're talking. Nah, it wasn't that much. Couldn't have been. Anyway, I worked in Dixons. And for some reason, this memory came into my head the other day, man. I was just thinking about satellites and my dad being up in the ladders. I remember, like, it was, I first started Dixons, my first or second day. And I was sitting behind the counter with a white shirt and a red tie on, with a wee red and white badge that said, Chris Davis, salesperson. Oh! I'd made it! I had made it! 16-year-old plucky bastard and big white heat face. Thinking I know everything about everything. So, I was dealing with a customer, I cashed them up, and then one of the guys I was working with, he came up to me, he's like, Chris, come here. Wait, you see this guy, man. This guy comes in all the time. Fucking, he's a weirdo, man. He's a weirdo. Comes in all the time. He never buys anything. He just looks at stuff all the time. And at this point, we were standing up. Whoever he was talking about was bending down, looking at a fucking mouse pad or something like that, right? And we were waiting for this person to stand up, and he went, and he's like, man, this guy comes in all the time. He just looks at stuff. He buys nothing. The guy stood up, and I went, that's my dad. His face was like, what? And I was laughing, man. I was like, alright, so I just went straight up. I was like, alright, how you doing? And then I realised then that people just, see your family as well, man. Like anyone that you're close with, they're just human beings as well, aren't they, man? They just do stuff that are weird, and that you don't know. Like I just saw my dad as my dad. I don't know. I didn't really see the things that he done outside his own free time in his workplace, because everything that he had gone on was his work. Or when I saw him in the house, I never knew what he'd done in his spare time. Of course, we weren't pals. I never hung out with him, man. Um, but apparently he would just always go into like shops and test loads of things out and ask loads of questions but never buy anything. So for example, he'd be interested in a PC, like a new PC, and he'd months and months and months, he'd get the guy over and he'd say, so how much is this on the financial plan? What does this do? What speed is it? What graphics card does it have? What kind of memory does it have? When can it be delivered? And all that. He used to go in there every week, man. Every week and do this. He used to look at cameras. Oh, and how many megapixels has this got? Right, okay, son. I need bother. Maybe I'll be up. And I'll have a wee look. I'll see what the finances are like and all that. Obviously, never bought it. And I do that now. I've got that trait. That's what I do. I pure do that, man. The first sofa that I ever bought, I went to this furniture shop where they had the sofa, and I sat on the sofa, pure testing it out, seeing how comfy it was. 3 different times. 3 different times before I decided to buy it on the 4th visit. I do it all the time with stuff, man. I can't just go buy a mobile phone, a new mobile phone, just on the one go. Things don't work spontaneously for me. I need to sit on it. I need to think on it. But it was just so funny that like not only did I have an insight into my dad's free time, but that due to that, as a consequence of that, that's how I've taken on that very that very like intriguing trait, and I practice it. But yeah, yeah, things are tough, guys. Things are a wee bit tough, man. But I'm hoping that we can just shed some light on a situation with a bit of humour, a bit of laughter, and I like to share. I like to share the things that I'm feeling with you. I hope you're not bored by it. I like to share how I feel, because I tell you something, for me it's very therapeutic, right? Just sitting here talking to myself in my kitchen, and then having you guys kind of listen to it. But probably one of the most important things I learned at school, right? And I never learned a lot at school, that is for sure. One of the things I learned, again in hindsight and in retrospect, was when I put my hand up to ask the teacher for whatever it is that I didn't understand, there was a handful of people that were quite happy that I had done that, because they themselves didn't have the courage to put up their hand and look like an idiot and ask for the question. Now, I'm not saying that I'm some sort of hero. I never knew that they didn't want to put their hands up. It was just, I was a bit more outspoken, a wee bit more confident, and it got to a stage in school where I didn't give a fuck if anyone thought I was stupid. I just wanted to know the answer. And I think that's very much the same when it comes to mental health. If I can talk about the way that I feel, and if it is in any way whatsoever in relation to how someone else feels, and there's a kind of correlation there or a connection there, I'm happy with that, man. Get in touch, leave a comment. Like if you're in the same boat, I'm happy to have a wee chat, have a wee video chat. I've been doing more of them lately since we're in lockdown too. That is good to have. So yeah, I think I'm just going to leave you on that, man. I don't think I've got much else to say. Get your book out and read, man. And also make soup. Make soup. Make and eat soup. And when you're making soup, listen to this podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.
I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs, yeah. I need some money to get me far and more. Well, excuse me, can you spare 10 pence? And 20 if you're feeling generous. Alright.